Hey, what's up, everybody? I figured I'd just make a quick tutorial video as I expand and added a second mountain ridge to this map on how I make these mountains at this scale, like just these massive mountains that you literally need distant horizons just to even look at. So this is what I made yesterday. Took me about 2 hours to make all this in World Painter. I don't use any other programs, only World Painter, and the brushes I get from the Discord that's on World Painter. Yeah, that's the mountain there. Go ahead and show you some of the renders I made of it last night too. This is with trees and everything and rendered in game right here. Close that out. There. Yeah, these are some renders I made last night of this mountain range. Not the most realistic because snow does not melt at like a completely level area like this. It's hard to make that realistic snow effect you get from using World Machine and Gaia in World Painter. So I just try not to worry about it. It still looks good. But yeah, this is also renders without snow on the map too, which I think the snow adds a lot more depth. That's a lot needed in this mountain. I'm a little sick at the moment, so my voice is a little raspy. But yeah, so basically, once you're in World Painter, right, you want to grab the Raise Mountain tool here. This is your bread and butter for making big ass mountains. And you also want to go into Preferences, Details, and Maximum Brush Size. Set that to, I'd say, 1,000. You really don't need anything bigger than that. And also when you're making your world, make sure it's for 1.19 or later, and the height is above default height. I'd go 512 or 1,000 if you want to make something you get either any bigger than what I'm making. But this is probably the biggest you absolutely need it to be. Um, so yeah, once you've done all that, you want to go into your thing, grab your Raise Mountain tool, put the intensity up to 100. Then use default World Painter brushes. You want to use the linear circle, which is the second circle one on the left side. What I do is I just pick an area, make sure you have your theme turned off, or else it'll just start looking ugly as you're painting it, because it does the default World Painter texturing, which you don't want that. So what I start doing is I'll just start making like random peaks everywhere. I don't know how to video edit it, so you're gonna have to sit along for the ride or just skip through the video, because I don't know how to edit videos for shit. I usually bring these up to about Y400. In this box right here, this is where you can see the height of how high the terrain you're hovering over is. So you can see over here, these are all about like 400, almost max height limit for this map. Yeah, so once you got that where you want it to be, just go through and just start adding more. And then later on, we'll connect them all and make it into a proper mountain range. If you have more RAM, this will go a lot faster. I only have 16 gigs of RAM, so it's pretty slow for my computer. But definitely having more RAM will definitely help in this kind of process. You wanna avoid making these in a straight line, like kinda like angle them out a little bit, you know. That way you can add like more valleys and make it look more detailed compared to having everything in a straight line. for a general point of reference, this map is a 6K by 6K map. And eventually, at a later point, I'm just going to release this as like proof of concept, I guess. I don't really know how to, what I'm releasing as. I just want to release a map. But yeah, I'm just going to release this. Like once this portion is done, there's going to be a lake and everything. I'm going to go through all of it. And then after that, I will be making a full-size map. Probably, it's going to be massive. Probably like 40K by 40K. Or just a really big map. It's going to consist of mountains, valleys, canyons, cliffs, everything in this scale to where it's like, it feels realistic, to like a realistic scale of things. I don't think the mountains in Minecraft do justice to how big a mountain is in real life at all. That's why I like building or making my terrain this fucking big in World Painter. Sorry about my language. Alright, so now we got more little mountain peaks. Everything. So now what I like to do is just kind of go through and connect them. So once again, you don't want it to be necessarily in a straight line. You could do it for this purpose, but I'm gonna avoid doing that. So what I like to do is I'll start here. We'll just start at the peak and just start dragging slowly like that. That's kind of how you create your valleys and ridge lines and everything. Normally what people do with world painter is they'll just grab whatever brush they're using, zoom in a little bit, and I'll just do this here. Yeah, it's kind of like, mix and match it until it looks good. Which, yeah, it works, but you can't really get the scale I'm going for by doing that. Once again, this process will go a lot faster if you have more RAM and a better CPU. Have it come this way, go in a little bit. I'm probably right about there. We'll stop it and we'll have this one come out. And we'll come around like this. Have a little like thing right there. Let's raise this up back up to a respective level because you want the ridge lines to be a bit more prominent than the valleys. If that makes sense. Just come through and connect that like that. And we'll do the same over here. And we're going to do the same with everything else too. And our mountain peak back in this corner here. Once we're done with that, just drag it over and connect the ridge line. Just like that. So far, you can kind of see where we're at right now. Not here yet. This is area that's already done. Yeah, you can see how it's already starting to look like a actual ridge line rather than just random hills everywhere stacked on top of each other. Let's minimize that. And when you're doing this, you can use any of these brushes here, like the first one, spike circle. When you're using the raise mountain tool, it creates a steeper angle for the mountain, so it'll be more pointier than this one here. You kind of see how like this one's a bit more like flat and curved. And this one's like more like goes up at like an angle like that there. I like this one because it's just a steady, smooth increase in height rather than like compoundingly going higher as it goes up. But you can use either, but for this instance, I'll be using the steady incline. Alright, so now we've finished that part. Now it's time to add like I don't know what they're called, but I just call them the fingers of the mountain, I guess. And it's like scrolling just a little bit on your radius and just kind of just do a little bit of these here. Kind of randomize them up. You'll have one going down like this, and maybe make it turn a little bit. Just kind of give them multiple angles. This will go down a little more, and then it'll break off and split in two again. Kind of like that. Just want to do a whole lot of that. Anywhere where there's like kind of like a point like this, you'd have one coming down like that. It doesn't have to go all the way down either. Like this one, since it's already kind of surrounded by valleys, I'll just have it kind of stop right there, like that. Let's go through and just do a whole lot of that there. Alright, now you've done all that. This is the part that I'm sure some people who have used World Painter before would disagree with. Maybe. But now you gotta smooth all this terrain out because these little lumps that get added for whatever reason, I don't know why they get added. Not these ones here, but the like this wavy kind of terrain, you don't want that. Because once you go through and paint on your actual brushes, these ones, this is going to cause it to look weird. Now let's grab this brush here. Intensity still at 100. Let's go through and just, oop, oh, wrong one. Make sure you're on the smooth tool here. This little slanted line. Let's go through and just, make all the terrain look nice and smooth like that. Probably don't have to do this, but this is just what I like to do. I've been muted this whole time. Jeez. Sorry, guys. But what I was trying to say is you want all your valleys to smooth down or have a gradient going downwards, like where there's no sections where it dips down more, then comes up a little bit. So you don't have to do this part. It depends on whether or not you want rivers flowing through your mountain or not. You kind of just go through and just fucking like smooth everything out. Make sure it's all going downhill in a nice smooth gradient. That way, if you want to have rivers and tributaries and water runoff from the mountains, you can have that. Um, but we're gonna do that after the fact. I didn't do it on this end purely because when I first started this map, I was just trying to test to see how it would turn out if I made a mountain of this scale. So I did it previously on like a little bit smaller scale, but I was like, we'll try it on a bigger one, see what it does. But yeah, we'll do that after the fact on this end, and this end will just stay the same. So now my favorite part is the detailing. So I will be using this brush pack here, Blackie Chan Brush Pack Volume 1. We'll be using the billowy brushes. So these first four right here. It's the same ones I used on this end. So essentially all you want to do with this is find your like all your like higher points and just kind of outline them. Pick whatever brush fits the area you're working with the best. So got this straight one. This one curves a little bit. Um, these two are good for like peaks and like filling in small areas. But the main thing with this is, let me find a good starting. I'll do it right here. We'll do this one. Figure out what radius works with what you're doing. So you see how like this line right here is coming down like this. You don't want that. You want to rotate it so that everything follows the shape of the terrain you laid out. If it flattens out on the top like this, that's fine. You can just do this here. Just kind of like do a little bit of that, and nobody will even notice it. It's a little noticeable, but you don't really notice it over here. I think this one, yeah, right here, I had to do it. Like I said, you don't really notice it once it's all completed. So then now we're just gonna go through, follow all of our like higher ridge lines, just like paint over everything, just add a little bit. You want to watch these lines here. It's made by whatever brush you're using, and make sure that they're all like they don't have to. They won't always will. It's impossible to get it perfect. But you want, for the most part, them to be flowing downhill, and that way it creates the effect of looking like erosion channels in the mountain. Let's go through and just do a little bit of this. Depending on everything, you can overlap them. You won't get the banding artifact, as I like to call it, that you would get normally from just doing this. See if I can get to do it. Probably won't, because it usually only happens at a larger scale. But you get the point. You want to make sure you're like changing up your angles on everything too. Don't use the same brush too much. It's like this one here. You can kind of see on the brush image how it has that line that goes like that right there. So you want to try to center it to where that follows the ridge line of your mountain a little bit. Once again, it's going to flatten out a bit, but we'll fix that in a minute. All you gotta do is just do that. It's kind of like follow these like indents here and just kind of like drag it up like that. That way some of the lines are still there and it still looks all smooth. So in these well valleys here, like say this area here, it's still smooth. It wasn't affected by the brush. You just kind of want to go through, just like off the side, just kind of like lightly tap it until you start to see those lines start to form in detail. You don't want to give it too much to where it ends up looking weird. So if you sit there and hold it like that, it's gonna stand out from the rest of the terrain pretty obviously. You don't want that. So yeah, just kind of go through. Just like tap it a little bit, just tap and hold for like a second or two, so you kind of get it to where you want it to be, like that. And small smooth areas like this right here, those are fine. You don't want every smooth area to be filled in, because once we go through and put our snow in, that's where you'll get that like realistic snow melt area looking right there. So small areas like that. Sorry, had COVID all this week. That's why I've been home just making maps all week. Well, working on a map I've been working on for a while. You can already see how this is starting to take shape and look pretty good in my opinion. think that's most of it. This little corner back here doesn't really matter too much, but I'll do it anyway. Quickly. Do here too. Yeah, I just want to scan through, make sure none of your tops of your mountains are completely flat like this one here. So we'll just fix that real quick. We'll come from this angle here. We'll use different brush, that way it doesn't look weird. Same thing here, just a little bit of that. We'll be alright. Alright, now for my favorite part, doing the texturing. So what we'll do is we'll just reset everything here. Remove that frost layer too. Oh, that's the wrong one. Keep the window open, remove layer, frost. Alright, now you've done that. Actually, we'll go through and add this lake here into the middle. I wanted to do. Definitely not going to be the biggest lake, but make it work. May make it more of a river, actually. Let's go through and do that real quick. Let's go through and just rotate the brush a little bit, that way it doesn't end up looking entirely the same everywhere. Actually, instead of that, I think we'll make this more of a river. Big freeze. Freeze again. Let's go through this flat area. We don't want flat terrain like that, so we'll just right there and just kind of randomize this brush a little bit. We'll start on this side. A smaller radius, we'll do 160 maybe. Why is let's go through this, make it a nice little river. Now for one of my favorite parts is doing the detailing. So you could keep it simple and just do at or above and say you want to be a mesa biome. Use your global operations, which is this little button here, by the way, for this menu. So you could keep it simple and just do that and just do one angle. That's definitely an option, but we're not going to do that. What we are going to do, let's go through here. We're going to select gravel first. We're going to do anything above 25 degrees will be gravel. Let's let that populate everything. Right. And then after that, we will do andesite. Let's go up to 30 degrees. Anything above 30 degrees will be andesite. This is just like a general gradient I use for pretty much all my mountains. It works quite well, so that's why I use it. Then we'll go with cobblestone after that. Go up by 10 degrees each time though. Once we do cobblestone, we use tough, and then go up to 50 degrees. Then after that, we will do deep slate on anything above 60 degrees. And once you've done that, your mountains should look something like this now. Another thing you can do, if you want, is you can go and you can do coarse dirt only on terrain, grass, anything above do 20 degrees just for this one. That way you have gravel or dirt, gravel, and then it goes into your mountains. That way you just get a little bit more texture out of everything. I'll give you something like that there. Actually, I wonder how would it look if I swap gravel? Of course, dirt. That's clay. I want that. I want gravel. How would that look? I'm messing this up right now. And gravel above 25 degrees for this one. It should. Alright, hold up. I'm testing something right now in the middle of this tutorial. Give me a minute. Alright, so gravel above 20 degrees. Then coarse dirt above 25. Andesite above 30. Cobblestone above 40. Tough above 50. And deep slate above 60. Mm. That's a little noisy, but I like it. Alright, so now we've done that, we're going to go through, we'll do sand above or below. Water level is 62, so we'll do 64. Let's add a little bit of a beach area to the river. Yeah, something like that. Doesn't have to be crazy. What else do we want to do? Oh yeah, snow. So now that we've done all that, it's time for snow. So best way to figure out like where your snow line should be, in my opinion, is to go to layers. Then on here, click on this, and this will show you like kind of a height map of how tall everything is. There's also a black and white version of it, but it doesn't tell you much. I like this one. So for snow layers, I usually like to start like right where it starts turning red. So this one, it's about 180, 190. So that's where we'll start our snow. So let's go back here. If I can put that back to there. We'll grab this. I always do my snow through global operations because I'm lazy. There's people that can. It's an option. You can go through and hand paint everything if you want to have like. Um, let's go in here real quick. Showcase. If you want to have realistic snow like that, you can hand paint it, or you can run your map as a height map through a world machine. I believe. I don't know how you do it. I've never used world machine. I can't figure it out, but yeah, Lone Star here. That if you want realistic snow, you can go through and hand paint it to look like that, but that's very difficult in my opinion. I've never been able to do it in a way that I think looks good. So what I do is I'll use fill of terrain type. I'll scroll all the way down to deep snow. There it is. We'll go at or above, decided at 180. Then we'll do anything below 45 degrees. So we've done that. You can see that that's how our snow looks. You'll notice that it makes a very harsh line, like going all throughout the terrain. You don't want that. There's ways to avoid that. So I feel like that's too much snow, honestly. So we're gonna do 200. Do Y200 for our snow for this one. We'll do anything below 40 degrees, actually. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I think that's more of a pleasant effect there. So, yeah, like I said, you have these harsh lines now, these harsh edges where the snow cuts off. So the way to minimize that to where it's less noticeable, it'll still be noticeable depending on what angle you put it at, but we'll do our at or above 200 again. Then below, we'll select keep window open on this one because you're going to be doing a lot of runs on this. So you go down by 10 blocks. We did 40, so we go down by 5 degrees. So at or above, go down by 10 blocks. And for your below angle, You want to go down by 5 degrees each time until you get to about like 5 degrees. So just keep doing that, reduce it by 10 blocks, go down 5 degrees. You just want to keep doing that. What this will do is it'll make it look like the snow's like kind of thinning out as it goes down lower into the mountain. It makes it more of a gradual decrease in the snow. So now you've done that. You can now see that the angle of the snow is, a lot less drastic. Still feel like that's going too low to the valley. I want the valley to be a bit more wide. So I'm gonna undo all of that, and we'll just make it a bit higher. I'll do like Y250 this time. I don't remember how I had it before. Try 275 actually. That's perfect. Okay. So, same thing, just go down 5 blocks or 10 blocks at a time, 5 degrees each time. That's perfect there. Where did our sand go? Accidentally undid the sand. Just to show you how it would be done, I'll do one river using the river script. I'm not a huge fan of doing it at this point. I should have remembered to do that earlier. I'm sorry. But I'll leave a link to the river script in the description so you guys can check it out. You have to pay for it. It's only a few bucks. If you feel like world painting, I would definitely recommend it. It's a very useful product that this guy made. I think his name is Slim Jim, I think, that made it. Could be butchering that, but basically you just want to go through and just kind of like flatten out these areas. Otherwise, river script will cut into your mountain like very drastically and make ugly bits of terrain that you don't want. Unless you want it, that's entirely up to you, but I don't. Just kind of go through and just smooth, flatten everything out as you go. You just want to have a nice smooth angle going downward. That's consistent. That should be good enough for just to do one. So grab this, make sure we don't have any other start layers anywhere. Let's grab this. Intensity 100. Custom layers. So to make this, you just want to make a custom layer. Doesn't matter what's in it, just fucking custom ground cover and just call it start. It can be whatever block. You're not going to keep it there. You're going to delete it afterwards. So, yeah, this river here will just have two starts. One will be right up here. And the other one will be in this little valley here, too. Should have a start up here. Delete that one. Yeah, that one start up there. We'll do this one like right up here. Then I'll have one over here just to show you what happens if you don't smooth out your terrain going downwards. So you just want to have your circle size at 0. That way it just makes a singular dot like that. So if it's anything like this or if it's like that, it won't know what to do. So you go tools, run script, river width at source age you go 2, and at the bottom we'll do 8 for this. I'll actually do 3, that way it doesn't get too thin to where the water can't flow correctly. We'll just run that. It's going to do its thing. Shouldn't take too long. And boom. Now we got that. So as you can see, it already did a little bit of what we don't want it to do, but that's not insanely drastic right there, so I'll allow it. But in this value here, there you can see it quite good there. It makes a very steep like cut into the mountain there where you don't want to do that. Because that doesn't look the best. Well, you can do that. So you can just undo that and just grab your flatten tool. We'll just do a little bit of flattening right here. Not super worried about how good it looks. Just do that real quick. Just gonna redo this, that way it matches this area that we just did. Not gonna worry too much about the aesthetics of that. Yeah. Actually, before I do that, let's run this script real quick. So now we've done that, we have a nice little mountain runoff coming off. We'll go through and do all this again here. Do that first. We'll do coarse dirt. Do about 15 degrees, see how that looks. Alright, now we've done that. Oh, I just did. Undo that. What did I just do? Nothing important. Right. So now we'll grab our grass brush here. We'll use, once again, default brush, we'll use cracks. We'll set this to be only on terrain grass. And yeah, let's do that. Sand went away again. That's why it's so weird. It's whittle weird that it keeps going away like that. Alright, yeah, let's go through. Let's add grass patches. This doesn't have to be super special. So I'll go through and just kind of do this here. You don't really have to rotate or do anything wacky or weird. Just put grass in there. This is just this layer here is just one tall grass and ferns mixed together. And now we've done that, we'll also do some rocks. We'll put the intensity on this one down just a little bit. And we'll do it anything below, we'll do 25 degrees. Anything below 25 degrees so these rocks can spawn. You don't want to do a whole lot of these, just kind of like sprinkle them around. You don't want this to be a super dense layer. Alright, now we've done that. Let's see here. We'll be using this pine mix here. So these are smaller, like more shrubby trees. So this will be like the higher up alpine mix. Pine big, these are sequoias, basically just really big, really tall trees. Go through and adjust the offset in these. So the roots are actually in the ground. That one's fine. That one's fine. That one's fine. And this one, it's like medium-sized pines. So what I'll do is take pine big, as I call it. And we'll just grab this circle here. We'll do this one. For intensity at 50%. We'll do only on anything below 30 degrees. And for only on, we'll just do land. That way we don't put it in the water. Only on land except on sand. That's what we do. And then for this, we want these trees to be in the lower valleys. So since our snow's at Y200, 230 about, we'll have these at or below. Do 175 for the trees. There below 175, we'll have, you know, big pine trees just kind of scattered around everywhere. I'll actually use this brush here. That way, there's like patches where there's not as many trees. It's a good brush for making realistic like ground patches, trees, flowers, grass. So like say you have this field here and you want like the edges to be like that, you can do that. That's like yeah, just kind of make a cool little effect to it. I'll do it right there just to kind of show it off. Yeah, let's go through. Just kind of paint these everywhere. You want this forest to be dense. Well, I do. You can do whatever you want for your map. Yeah, let's go through and just do that. This is just the first layer of trees, too, so. I'm gonna go through with this brush here. Just like kind of along the river edge, just like add like denser areas of trees. Like on these like little points. It's kind of like that. Then we'll also do our pine mix medium. We're gonna raise this one up by below Y200. Once again, we'll only do anything below 30 degrees. Actually, we'll do raise it up by 50. We'll do 225. Sprinkle that through the valley as well. Just a little bit. Then we'll go for our alpine one. We'll do this at or above 225. And at or below 275. We'll just kind of mix this one in. Just I should do below 300 actually. This is what's going to become our kind of alpine tree line that we get in. I think they're like pine bushes. Let's pack. I wonder. It's like small little bushes. Yes, there it is. We'll grab those. We'll do that, and we'll just go below 325. This can go on anything below 45 degrees. Let's make that color stand out a little bit. Make it purple. All right. It's a pretty hastily made, so it won't be the best map ever, but yeah, that's pretty much it for making mountains of this scale. I'm gonna cut the video here, then at the end of the video, I'll try to see if I can figure out how to put renders of it. If not, if I can't figure out how to get the renders into the end of the video, um, then I'll just have a link to like all the screenshots and renders of how this turned out. All right. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, appreciate you. Subscribe if you want. I'll be posting more like map building stuff. Also, I'll still be doing Escape from Tarkov on my channel too. But I'll do like map building and just building in general in Minecraft too as well, I think. But thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye.